The Citroen C3 Picasso is dead, which comes as no surprise because people have moved from MPVs to SUVs, but it's been replaced by this, the brand new Citroen C3 Aircross. It certainly looks for parts, but is it any good? The C3 Aircross has got quite a quirky design, but I do rather like it. Okay, it may not be to everyone's tastes, but it does look rather funky. This is the top of the range model, therefore, as standard, you get 17-inch alloys and a two-tone roof. This particular model is finished in ink black, which is an optional extra. It's a metallic finish, but if you don't quite like this colour, then there's plenty of choice. In fact, you can have this car in 85 colour combinations. My word, that's enough to make you dizzy with choice. The inside of the C3 Aircross is a nice place to be, particularly as this model has got one of the optional interior packs. So this interior pack is called Hype Colorado, and it looks really funky. You've got this tan leather mixed in with the dogtooth design, and I do really like it. The dashboard is quite minimal, there's barely any buttons thanks to a large touchscreen display. And I do rather like the vents as well, they are rather stylish. I do have one gripe with the interior design though. This handbrake, it's a very odd shape, it does look rather funky, but to use it's a bit of a faff, and yeah, overall it is a bit of a pain. Citroen, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So space in the front of a C3 Aircross is very good indeed, as you would expect from an SUV. I've got plenty of headroom, and I've also got a good amount of shoulder and elbow room. Getting a good driving position is rather easy. The steering wheel adjusts for rake and reach like so. And the seat has also got a good level of adjustment. Now the seats themselves are comfortable, but I would want a little bit more lumbar support. I did find on a longer journey my lower back was starting to cramp up a little bit, but it wasn't too bad in all honesty. Another small complaint I have is the toggle, the dial for the cruise control. It's quite near to my left knee, so sometimes when I change gear, my left knee knocks it, and I do find that a little bit annoying, but that's probably due to my height. But what about cubby holes? Well, there's a good amount of them down here. I've got a cup holder, so I've got a small bottle of drink in there. Quite handy. Quite impressively, I've been able to squeeze a 1.5 litre bottle of water in the door bin. Okay, it's a tight fit, but it does go in, so that's quite handy. Plus, there's still a bit of space in the other part of the door bin for a snack or maybe a packet of mints. That's quite impressive. You've also got a cubby hole down here between the handbrake and the gear lever. I like to keep the car key in there. It sits in there quite nicely. Now this car has got the optional hi-fi pack, the techno hi-fi pack. Therefore I do get a wireless charging pad down here, which is very handy. And to complete it all, the glove box offers a good amount of space. At the moment, I've got a packet of crisps in there, and there's plenty more space for other items. So space in the front, pretty good. But what about the back? Let's have a look. Space in the back is pretty good. As always, the driver's seat has been altered for me. I'm 6'2", so I'm a tall guy. But even so, the legroom is pretty decent, and the headroom is also good as well. Plus, I reckon you could get 3 adults in the back with little complaint. So, the back of a C3 Aircross, pretty spacey. The C3 Aircross also offers a decent amount of boot space. Open up the tailgate and you'll enjoy 410 litres to use. But if your model has got the rear sliding seats fitted, then you can slide them forward and enjoy 520 litres. But if you need even more space, you can of course fold on the 60/40 rear seats to give you almost 1,300 litres. That's loads. In fact, yesterday I used this very car to transport 4 alloy wheels and an exhaust, plus I had room left over, so very practical indeed. Citroen, well done. The C3 Aircross is available in 3 trim levels: Touch, Feel and Flair. The Touch model starts from £14,350 and offers basic features such as DAB radio, Bluetooth, automatic headlights, cruise control, lane departure warning, front electric windows and 16-inch steel wheels. The mid-range model starts from £15,455 and that adds 16-inch alloy wheels, 7-inch colour touchscreen, smartphone connectivity, leather steering wheel, fog lights with cornering function, LED daytime running lights and dark tinted rear windows. And last but not least, you have the top of the range Flair model, which is the model tested here. It starts from £17,450 and adds features such as 17-inch alloys, two-tone roof, style pack in a choice of 4 colours, automatic wipers, climate control, navigation, front and rear electric windows, sliding rear seats, keyless entry and start, rear parking sensors, the Citroen SOS system, and you also get autonomous emergency braking. The C3 Aircross is available in a choice of 5 engines, 3 petrol and 2 diesel. The engine I have is the BlueHDi diesel, 1.6 litre, turbocharged, and it offers 118 brake horsepower with 300 Newton meters of torque. It's mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox, which, if I'm honest, is rather notchy and it isn't very good to use. It's not very precise, and yeah, the throws are quite long, and on the whole, it's not a great gearbox. Also, the clutch pedal is rather springy, so to begin with, driving this car smoothly can be a bit of a challenge. Now, I imagine if you're watching this, you're probably not too bothered about performance figures, but in case you are, let me give them to you. So this car will hit 62 miles per hour in 10.7 seconds and continue to a top speed of 114 miles per hour. Oh, I know, fast, right? But like I say, this car isn't designed for performance, it's designed for everyday family life and to be comfortable. And speaking of which, is it comfortable? Well, the answer to that is a big fat yes. Now, there is a caveat with that. Now, these seats are rather comfortable, but like I said earlier, I would want a little bit more lumbar support. Now, for ride, let's talk about the ride. At low speeds, it can be a little bit jiggly, but it does sort itself out once you get up to a higher speed. But even then, you will find the ride a little bit choppy. And what I mean by that is, I'm sorry Citroen, I don't want to compare your car to a boat, but it does feel a little bit boat-like, particularly on this road, which has got quite a few undulations. You can feel your upper half just bobbing left to right, up and down, and you can feel that the car and your body isn't particularly settled. But let's go back to that engine. How does the engine perform? Well, as mentioned, it's not built for performance, but you know what? It isn't too bad. It's quite refined when you're cruising. It works away in near silence, and for performance, isn't too bad. It's got a good amount of grunt to it. Even when you're in 6th gear on the motorway, you still feel confident enough to overtake. And this car has got a decent amount of pulling power. The actual power delivery is quite smooth. Now, as we're approaching some bends, let me talk about the handling, and this is that's an area where this car doesn't really do very well, I'm afraid. But I suppose when you look at the soft suspension setup and the fact that it's built for comfort, that should really come as no surprise. As you would expect from a car like this, it's a bit roly-poly. It's a high-riding SUV, therefore you will find the car will definitely want to lean when you hit a corner. Now, the grip of the tyres isn't too bad, but I'm afraid the rest of it is, yeah, it's not too good in all honesty. But my biggest gripe with how the car handles is the big round thing in front of me, the steering wheel. Now, the steering is light, which is fantastic for manoeuvring around town or car parks and so forth, and it does get a little bit heavier when you build up speed, but there's no communication. Sometimes I literally feel like I have no idea what the front wheels are doing, and bearing in mind this is quite a big car, that's disconcerting. Sometimes you turn in, you put so much lock on and you think, is that too much? Is that too little? And the whole front end, it feels disconnected. You get a sense that the steering wheel and the front wheels are like a married couple that have had a big argument and they've not spoken to each other for quite some time. Estranged, that's the word I would use for the relationship between the steering and the front wheels. Visibility, on the other hand, is pretty good. Yes, the A-pillar is quite thick, but even so, when I get to junctions, I've not had any problems in regards to seeing what's coming. The rear window is wide and large. That's very good. Wing mirrors are of a good size, so seeing out this car is very easy indeed. You've got a massive windscreen, and overall, yeah, seeing out the C3 Aircross is very good. But in case you're not the best parker in the world, the Flair model does come with rear parking sensors. Although I do find it disappointing that there's no rear view camera to go with it, or indeed front parking sensors. You can have front parking sensors, but they are an optional extra. Now let's talk about refinement. This car is pretty refined, although there is a fair amount of tyre noise coming from the 17-inch alloys. It's audible, but it's not too intrusive, so I'm happy with that. Wind noise, well, it's a high-riding SUV, so that's to be expected. On the motorway, there's definitely some wind noise to be had, but again, it doesn't ruin the overall experience. But what about safety? The C3 Aircross was awarded 5 stars by Euro NCAP. However, it's worth noting that autonomous emergency braking is only standard on the top of a range model. On the other models, it is an optional extra. So let's talk fuel economy. Now, as you would expect from a 1.6 litre diesel, it's rather frugal. On a combined run, I should be getting 68.9 miles to the gallon. And you know what? In practice, I've been getting between 65 and 67 miles to the gallon, which is really good, really frugal car. And as I speak, I'm doing 62.7 miles to the gallon. So yes, it is a green car. In regards to CO2, this car emits 107 grams per kilometre, meaning that for the first year of VED, you'll pay £165, and then each year thereafterwards, you'll pay £140. So, to sum up the Citroen C3 Aircross, if you're looking for a bold looking SUV that offers great levels of comfort and space, then look no further, this car is a strong choice. However, if you're looking for something more dynamic, something that's going to excite your tingly parts, then you will need to look elsewhere. But like I say, if you want space, practicality, comfort, bold looks, then C3 Aircross should be the car for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe for more car obsession.